Now, there were 6 water pots of stone set there which were used for a Pharisee purification ritual. That's what they are. Ladies and gentlemen, stone water pots are very expensive. To even buy broken ones that are that age in Israel today, broken stone water pots from the 1st century will cost you $5,000. These are very temperamental. It's a stone water pot. You have to take a rock and to chisel and make a water pot out of it. And why I say broken, I wanted to buy one of these things. I finally found one, but it wasn't completed because it broke before it was finished. $5,000 of what they wanted for it. I opted out and bought a replica so that I could demonstrate this. But ladies and gentlemen, these stone water pots, you find nothing in the Torah. Where do you find out about them? You find out about them in the Talmud. Now, we are notified right here in the text that this is an Orthodox Pharisee wedding reception by the notation that these 6 stone water pots are for the purifying of the Jews, which speaks of a water purification ritual invented by the Pharisees. These stone purification water pots are never mentioned in the Torah, but they are meticulously detailed in the ancient Talmudic writings of the Pharisees. These hand-hewed stone water pots held approximately 2 liters of liquid. Many of these ancient relics are preserved in the museums in Israel today. You can go there and see them. And their prescribed use by the Pharisees is well documented. You can go through it and you can take a look at it, how they're documented. And the modern interpretations of a firkin, 2 or 3 firkins, they incorrectly interpret the capacity of these stone vessels to be between 20 and 30 gallons. That is ridiculous because of how they're used. They are used when water, if it has the slightest flavor, and I'm going to explain it to you very briefly here. You can go through and read the footnotes on this, but if water has the slightest flavor of wine or vinegar, it is then deemed impure for like a wedding, for an official Pharisee religious ritual, such as a wedding. And so what you have to do, you have to take a water pot, a stone water pot, which cannot contract ritual impurity, according to the Pharisees. It is then filled all the way to the brim. Then it is taken and lowered down into a mikveh, running water. And as soon as the waters of the mikveh, this running water, kisses the water at the top of this stone water pot, as soon as it kisses, it's brought up. Because the mikveh is not necessarily real clean, but it's brought up and it is now ceremonially clean. Now, let's see what happens. Yeshua said to the servants, fill the water pots with water. They filled them up to the brim. Literally says to the brim, just like the Pharisees teach, just like what is in the Talmud. They know what to do, right to the brim. They know it's impure. These are stone water pots. They know how they're used. They're familiar with it their whole life. A Gentile reading this in America has no idea what it's about. He doesn't even realize it's a Pharisee wedding. These 6 stone water pots tell you it's a Pharisee wedding. He then told them, now, draw water out of the pot and give it to the master of ceremonies. This they also did. Wait, this is not how you do it. If the head rabbi understands, if he gets wind of what's just happened, that out of this stone water pot, that they didn't take it to the mikveh, dip it down in, no. This water, if it has the slightest flavor of wine or vinegar, it's impure. Now, they dip out of the pot, but they don't tell them where it came from, and they gave it to the master of ceremonies. When the master of the feast tasted the water, which is turned wine, he did not know where it came from, but the servants which drew the water knew. See, it tells us all this in John. It's so incredible because John's a Jew. He understands all this stuff, what's going on. If he knew where it came from, he would have flipped out, but this is what he did. The master of the feast called the bridegroom and said, at the beginning of the feast is when everyone sets out the choicest wine, and after men have well drunk, then they bring out that which is inferior. But you have kept the most excellent wine until now. See, this is the miracle of the defiling of the Pharisees' stone water pots. This is the best Cabernet Sauvignon in the entire Israel Valley. It's not supposed to have even the slightest flavor of wine or vinegar. It's impure. What does Yeshua do? He takes this Pharisee rule and regulation, this stone water pot, mishigas, that they made up, and defiles it, and now it's got the best wine in the entire region. Shalom, Torah fans. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Tap the subscription button and the bell icon. And I promise to update weekly with in-depth biblical research. Be sure to download the new michaelrood.tv app for both mobile and home devices for even more commercial-free content.